Assalamu alaikum. It is the last day of 2022. The year is coming to an end, and we are embarking on a whole new year, and we are setting all new goals. And so today I want to talk to you about setting achievable goals, right? I'm not talking about quote unquote realistic goals. We're talking about achievable goals. So, if you have a pen and paper handy, I want you to grab a pen and paper. I want you to pull out your phone. I want to make sure that you are taking notes because we are really going to dive in here. So one of the things that happens in the new year, we all know, is everybody sets new goals. And then every year you're setting the same goal. So, how do we avoid doing that? So, one of the things that we have to do is make those goals very specific. So that's the first thing, right? And this is a little different than SMART goals. I know you've heard about SMART goals, which is a great idea. And I certainly recommend it if that is a good way for you to stay focused. SMART goals meaning specific, measurable, achievable, realistic, and timely, right? So those are SMART goals. But we're going to take it a little bit further. So when it comes to your health and fitness, there is a couple of things that are really important, particularly when you're trying to lose weight, right? So one of those things that's important is don't just focus on the scale, right? So when I have a client that comes to me for a goal mapping session, what we talk about is setting several different goals, right? Because the scale, as you lose weight, you may lose 3 pounds this week, 2 pounds next week, and then gain a pound and then lose two more, right? So it's always going to be an up and down. As long as you're generally going in the right direction, then it's a program that you should stick with. But we don't want to just set scale goals. So we set three different types of goals. Number one, when you are on a weight loss journey, obviously weight is going to be one of those factors. So let's just talk a little bit about how do we set realistic goals, right? Because this is something that I get asked a lot when we do breakthrough sessions is like, I don't know if this is realistic. So in general, my unrealistic goal. But there is a such thing as an unrealistic timeline. So if you're like, I want to lose 100 pounds, right? Because that is the healthy weight that I need to be at. Yes, you can lose 100 pounds. You probably can't lose 100 pounds in 6 months, not in a healthy way, but you can if you're willing to stick to the journey. When it comes to weight loss goals, you shouldn't think short term, right? At the very minimum, think monthly, quarterly, and yearly, right? So don't set a goal like, I want to lose 2 pounds every week, right? So going back to what I just said previously, what happens is some weeks you'll lose 2 pounds, some weeks you'll lose 1 pound, some weeks you'll gain a pound, and then you'll feel like you failed. You should look at your goals at the very least over a month period, right? Where do you want to be at the end of the month? Whatever you're doing should show you some results at the end of the month. If you go a whole 30 days and you are following a particular program and you're doing everything that the program is asking you to do and you're not seeing results, then you should consider that you may need to do a different type of approach to your weight loss. So in general, I like people to sort of get into the mindset of their weight loss journey. And you do that by thinking, however many people who use kilos, you're going to have to convert it on Google. However many pounds I want to lose, that is how many weeks I need to be focused on my nutrition and exercise. Yes, both, not one, both. So if you want to lose 50 pounds, that journey of you losing 50 pounds is a year journey. There's 52 weeks in a year. It's going to take you about a year on that journey to be really focused on your nutrition and your exercise habits. What I've learned in my 20 plus years of coaching women to be happier and healthier is that however many pounds a person want to lose, that is how many weeks they need to stay focused, because the more weight a person has to lose, then the more habits we have to create. And habits take time and consistency. So when you think of how long is it going to take me to lose the weight, like even if you lose the 50 pounds in 6 months, which is absolutely realistic, you still need to stay focused and continue doing the things that you should be doing for the entire time, right? If you take a challenge or if you give yourself a deadline, you should know that that is just the first milestone. So when a person says, well, 3 months, I want to lose 20 pounds, right? Know that even if you lose that 20 pounds in 3 months, you need to stay consistent for at least another 2 months. That doesn't mean that you can take your workouts down to 2 days a week when you've been exercising 4 days a week because you've reached your weight goal. You have to be consistent. So the first thing is you want to set a goal in terms of your weight, and you want that goal to be monthly, quarterly, and yearly. I like to begin with the end in mind. How much weight do we want to lose in a year? What does that mean we need to lose in 6 months? What does that mean we need to lose every 3 months? And how many pounds are we going for this first month that we're on our journey? So we began with the end in mind. So I want you to think about that when it comes to achieving your weight goal, and write it down. Don't just say it. Don't just post it on the internet. Literally write it down for yourself so that you can hold your own self accountable. So that's when it comes to weight. The second goal that I want you to set is, and this is irregardless, I shouldn't say irregardless, this is separate from your weight goal. I want you to set a fitness goal, something that you would like to physically be able to accomplish that you cannot accomplish now, that you are going to work towards. It can be as small as, I want to be able to do a 5K, which is 3.1 miles, or it can be as large as, I want to hike Mount Kilimanjaro, right, in 2 years, or for my 45th birthday, that's what I want to do. Whatever that is, you need to set a fitness goal, again, something that you want to physically be able to accomplish. And when I have people think about a fitness goal, I want you to think of, if you were your happiest, healthiest self, and you looked in the mirror and you said, I am fit, what would you physically be able to do to feel as if you are fit? That is your fitness goal, right? And you're going to work towards it. Doesn't have to be something that you're going to accomplish this month or even this year, but you are going to work towards it. So if you currently don't exercise at all and you're like, I want to run a marathon one day, awesome. Let's create a plan to get you to the point of running a marathon. So that means that you might need to just get up and start walking around the block every day for 20 minutes. But it's a step towards the direction of your fitness goal. So we have a weight goal, we have a fitness goal, and then the third thing that I like women particularly to set out is to achieve an aesthetic goal, right? So an aesthetic goal is a look. I had an interesting conversation with one client and she's like, but we're Muslim and we cover up. Like, what am I trying to achieve? It is for you. It is not for anybody else. Do you want flatter abs? Do you want a rounder butt? Do you want toned arms? Do you want to fit inside of a dress that you haven't been able to fit into it in a year? What do you want to see when you look in the mirror? Let's not pretend that we are not visual creatures. Women are also visual creatures. So what do you want to see when you look at yourself in the mirror for you to say, I'm comfortable and I look good, right? Not that you are not beautiful now in whatever weight or whatever conditions you are, but recognizing your journey does not mean denying where you are. Wanting to be better does not negate your beauty now, but what is it that you need to look at in the mirror to say, I feel good. I feel comfortable in my clothes. I feel comfortable in my skin. I like the way that I look, right? We should all look in the mirror and say, I like the way that I look. So whatever that is, when it comes to something like an outfit, right? So if you're currently a size 16, I would not recommend that you go get a size 6 and say, hey, this is the outfit that I want to be able to fit in, right? Start off small, right? I tell people, find a pair of pants that you can pull up over your hip, but you can't quite button, right? Because you're going to achieve that much quicker than dropping 10 clothes size, right? And every time you can pull those buttons, right? So this week, you may be able to pull it up over your hips and the button doesn't even touch the hole. And then in 2 weeks, you might pull it over your hips and you notice that you can actually suck in and button the pants, but you can't zip them. And then 2 weeks later, you can pull it over your hips, actually button the pants and zip it halfway up, but you can't breathe. And then a month later, you can pull it over your hips, button the pants, zip it all the way up, and actually feel comfortable wearing them. Noticing those small changes in your body is going to, one, show you that your work is not going in vain. Your sacrifice is not going in vain. Those days of having sore legs are not going in vain. And it's also going to keep you motivated. So those are the 3 things that you want to think about if your goal is to be healthier and fit and lose weight this year. I don't want you making the same goals next year. I want you to be already have your goals and making new ones next year. So these are the 3 things. So remember, we're setting a weight goal, we're setting a fitness goal, and we're setting an aesthetic goal. The most important thing, and this is the last thing about all 3 of these goals, they must be quantifiable. You must be able to measure them. You cannot say, my goal is to be healthier in 2023. My goal is to eat healthier in 2023. That's not really a goal. It's a statement. It's not really a goal because 1, healthier is relative. Number 2, what does that actually mean to you? Like, healthy for everybody is different. Even healthy for you is different, right? So will you feel like you eat healthier if you start drinking water? Will you feel like you eat healthier if you up your protein? Will you feel like what does that actually mean? I need your goals to be very quantifiable, meaning you need to be able to measure it. You can't say, I want to be fitter without defining that. You have to define what it means. If you cannot measure it, then you cannot achieve it. You have to put 1, a number on it, and number 2, you have to put a deadline on it. So think about your goals for all of 2023, and then you break them down. What of those 3 things do you want to achieve in 6 months? And then what are those 3 things? How far do you want to be in 3 months? You keep setting those goals. And if you exceed yourself, awesome. If you set a goal to achieve in 3 months and you're able to do it in 2 months, then just reset the goal, reset the deadline, reset the number that you initially wanted to achieve. So I wanted to give you those tips as we go into 2023. Hopefully you will be able to apply them to be able to achieve your happiest, healthiest self. So I will see you next year, inshallah. Assalamu alaikum.